The first thing that you'll notice is our user interface redesign, where colours are now generally inverted to previous versions for better readability. However, we do now support device themes that allow us a little more control over the look and feel, which we will get to in a moment. We now have a context button at the bottom of the screen that allows us to choose between different settings. Here you can see we have rather a lot of settings. Typically a customer would have, say, a test environment and a live environment. I'm just going to switch back to demonstration 2016 here. If we now log in, we've also taken the opportunity to cater to a variety of different form factors on the devices. We now have truck-mounted devices implemented with a few customers. Those screens tend to be a more traditional landscape style that you would typically see on your PC, which gives you a little bit more space for buttons and for displaying data. As you can see, the default colour scheme is a little more modern looking, and we've gone for a more flat set of user interface elements. You can also see that scroll bars are now gone. Scrolling is by fingers, and again is a more modern set of user interface elements as expected on a modern device. Switching to Dynamics NAV, these are the device themes. These are various colour schemes which can be switched out at a submenu or even function level. So each submenu here we have the default colour scheme, which is used at the top menu, and then we have different colour schemes that are used by the various submenus. If we switch to the device menu here, we can see that we have different theme codes for different menu items. And you can also see we now have a set of inverted images that we use on the submenus, as we've gone for a more white look to the buttons once you're into the submenus. This can be seen reflected on the device here. If we go into the receiving submenu, we can see that we have white buttons, but the background has changed to a more purple colour, and this is reflected in the theme. At present, we revert back to the default theme when you go into a sub-item, as so. But there's no reason why these functions cannot also be switched to an alternate theme. If we see here, these are all switching back to default theme for the submenu items, but you could just as easily allow the inquiry theme to be passed through to those sub-functions instead. The device themes all have a colour picker that allows the user to define colours via entering RGB values or selecting from on screen if they find that easier to work with. More changes are planned on the user interface refresh. We are planning on working the browses, selects and inquiries to improve the readability of the information on screen, on smaller screens, and to reduce reliance on the stylus as at present. So here we've switched the device theme code for all of the sub-functions under the receipting menu to the receipt colour scheme. And what you can then see, if we switch to the device, if we go into the receiving menu and into the receipt function, we can see that the colour scheme has now passed through to the sub-function, and even though we've stuck with these colours here for the buttons, this is also fully controllable through the device theme. If you have users who have issues with colour blindness, for instance, or they're having difficulty reading the screen, you could swap them out with a menu of their own and give them a completely different set of colour schemes so that they're more able to read what's on the device screens.